back to that new report out this morning predicting some positive news for the Canadian economy. Deloitte is forecasting Canada's economic struggles will ease next year, growth will return, and the Bank of Canada will begin cutting its key lending rate. Joining me now is Dawn Desjardins, Chief Economist at Deloitte Canada. Dawn, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Marcia.
So before we get to the good news, I know in this report you say that things are going to feel a little tight before they get better. Explain.
Yes, certainly. We're already feeling the effects of the Bank of Canada's rate increases. We're seeing that in the data. We're seeing the consumer flag after some pretty robust growth earlier in the year. We're seeing our labor market soften a bit. And so all of this spells a period, we think, of slower economic activity in the near term. And of course, that will help in terms of the outlook for inflation because price pressures continue to be quite high, higher than the Bank of Canada would like. And so as we start to see this weakening in the economy, we think that'll be a catalyst for price pressures to ease.
So I'm not quite sure how to phrase this. What makes Deloitte so confident? I mean, people definitely want some good news, but what are the factors that you're looking at?
Well, I think over the medium term or into next year, we do see a pickup because we do think that as the bank gets some success on the inflation. Now, it doesn't mean inflation gets to the 2% target in a quick way. Certainly, we don't believe that's the case. But once the Bank of Canada sees that the momentum is that price pressures are easing, we do think that that'll put them in position to start to lower that policy rate. And as that happens, we do think that that will give some relief to consumers and, of course, to businesses who are also facing higher charges to borrow money. And that will underpin that resurgence in growth. Now, again, both the downside and the upside in our forecast is pretty mild by historical standards. We're still looking at, pretty stagnant growth, I would say, in the near term. So no deep, dark recession is in our forecast. But by the same token, annual growth in 2024, still about 1%. So we're still living in a world where, yes, things will be better in the latter part of 2024, but nothing really zooming in terms of the economy. That would be more a 2025 story.
What does this mean for people whose mortgages are coming up or perhaps are saving for a house?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that interest rates having come down up so much, we are seeing an increasing number of mortgage holders who are seeing their payments go up each month. And this has certainly been the case since the Bank of Canada started their rate hiking cycle, which was in March of 2022. So we have seen a significant proportion of mortgage holders already face those higher costs, and that will continue, we think, as we go through the remainder of this year and through most of 2024, because rates are still and will remain still markedly higher than they were when those mortgages were taken, 2-3 years ago.
Dawn Desjardins, she's the Chief Economist at Deloitte Canada. Dawn, thanks so much. Good to see you today.